Okay, and let's move on. So let's do all the rest. So everything like wood related is now good. And yeah, I tried to go with this like a little darker wood. When you look at this stuff, it is approximately the same brightness. So maybe our color is a little more rich, but it also depends later when we have like filter and lighting and stuff. So yeah, we can tweak a lot later anyway. So let's reveal the gutter. So we will do everything metal related. And so for the gutter, what we can do, of course we can just apply maybe like a smart material and tweak this. But I mean, seriously, we want to learn something. So this is why we just add a fill layer here for this big gutter. And so from like base metal stuff, so what we need is like a base metal reflection, like the base color, which has a value of. Okay, I will show you. So I think it's easier for me to just show it than to explain stuff. So we don't need height, we don't need normal. Okay, and we call this one base metal. And base metal means we need a metal value of 1. Now you can already see this has metal. And the roughness we can have, so this is not really good because this is basically a mirror. And this is also not really good. So what we need is something in between. So maybe let's do 0.4. Okay, if you have this, we can also change that if you want to. I believe it was double geometry. Click on this one here, and then you have geometry, like two-sided geometry here. Maybe it is also called backface culling or double-sided, two-sided geometry. Good. So now you have this as well. Now this is our like base metal. Then you can go maybe for something darker if you want to, or maybe like something really bright. But in this case, I want to go for something like this. So this is just base metal. We only need a bright color, roughness value, a lower roughness value, and a metallic value of 1. This is it. Then on top of that, we can use edge damage, add a black mask on top of that, or inside there, and inside the black mask right click and add a generator, and we get the good old metal edge. Alright, so now what you can see basically, this white stuff is now our new layer. So what we can do is we apply the grunge scale. So maybe we need this one to be a scale of 2 maybe. And I think a grunge amount of maybe something like 0.4 is nice. Let's get rid. No, we need a little more contrast. So maybe something like this. And let's try and decrease the wear level. So now this is just the base metal, and then when we introduce the edge damage, we have something like this. So, but the problem here is, you can see, so this is fine, I mean this is okay, but this whole damage here is affected a lot. So what we can do, we can decrease the curvature weight, something like this. And the edge smoothness is not really doing much because we don't have a lot of curvature weight. And let's try height a little bit. Just a tiny bit. And we do a higher roughness value. Maybe like 0.8. and we don't need metallic, and we don't need normal. And then we can go for something like this. So basically we can simulate rust. And then overall we can just increase the wear level. But this looks horrible, so decrease this. So something like this. Okay, and then on top of that, let's get a grunge map. So search for grunge. Let's get something like directional. Let's try something like this. Let's increase the balance just to see what's going on. And then we can play with those repetitions here. Let's rotate, and 0 is fine. And let's do 24. Yeah, so we have this directional effect. And let's do 2. And then we can multiply this. Now you can see this is better. And then we can again play with those values here. And then let's change the color. I think this is good. Yeah, and then let's get the grunge and let's try. Now you can see this is without the grunge multiply, so pretty horrible. But in this case, when we introduce the multiply, we have something like this. Much better. But we should have another layer. And let's call this one dirt. Get a brown color. Roughness increase. We don't need metallic and normal. And we don't need height. And let's get a black mask. Add a generator and we add dirt. And let's disable the edge damage, and then we can see around those spots we have dirt, so we can decrease the contrast and increase the dirt level. And then you can also try subtract and then change the color to something like this, and then you can change the color here and get like something like this. Then at the same time we can just decrease this effect. Now this is much better. Alright. Now you have decent like metal type stuff. I don't know. You can also copy this base metal, like a duplicate, right click and duplicate the layer. So duplicate. And let's do metal color variation. So we don't need roughness. So we only need let's do like a slight blue, metal, and let's get a black mask. We don't need actually, let's just get a grunge map, this grunge map here, and put it inside. Let's disable everything and let's only get this one. Play with the balance. Add levels. Make it a little sharper. Then let's invert this. And let's change the color. Okay, sorry. So now we can see a little better. Just that we can see. Go click on the mask and let's not invert this. And we can make it even more interesting. Let's get another grunge map on top and we multiply. Play with the repetition. Alright, so I just want to have this like even stuff, like that is a little balanced, so it's okay. Let's put this on top. And let's do something like this. And now we can change the color again. And this is like, now we have like a little bit of like color variation. We can also get a roughness and have like a different roughness value. So maybe a little less reflection. So yeah, maybe like so. Okay, so now you can see, like, you can see the difference here. And the dirt, I think this is pretty harsh. This is better. Yeah. Okay, I think this is fine. This looks good. So now you can see how you can make basically like a rusty metal texture with some color variation, and you can also click on the roughness here, and you can see you have like some reflective spots and less reflective spots where we have like more dirt or like more rust here. It's less reflective. Okay, so now we can just get a folder. So click on the folder and drag everything inside. And we call this one Silent Hill Metal. Right click, Smart Material. Boom. Then you can copy this, and let's go and get the next. Let's hide everything. So we have the gutter, the big one. Now we need. Where's the other gutter? Small, this one. Let's just apply that here. Just Control V, and let's wait a couple of seconds. And there you have it. It's already pretty good. Let's press F. Let's hide this one. Let's press F. Yeah, and this is it. Looks pretty nice. Pretty good. Yeah, pretty good in my opinion. And then we can apply the same material, so copy this again, Control C, and then we can apply the same stuff on main roof. Let's go for the main roof edge. Press F. We can maybe apply this here. Why not? Yeah, this is it. This is it. And then we get this one main roof here, metal shutter. Those two things. Press F and Alt, right mouse button, you can zoom in. Let's delete the layer, we don't need to paint, and just Control V, so we have this stuff here. Alright, so now you can see this is already pretty nice. If this is too much rust for you, you can just decrease this if you want. So in this case it's dirt, but it's pretty similar. So you can just decrease this. And on the edge damage, why does it look so repetitive? Ah, this is why, sorry. Let's rotate this, so this is more directional. At 90, not 9 degrees. Yes, this is much better. Then let's go for something like this. Yeah, looks good. And we get this dirt, but less contrast. A little bit of contrast. So I think this looks horrible, but this is fine. But now we have a little problem here, because this looks pretty nice, but the problem is here. What can we do here? we can add a new fill layer, drag it outside, black mask, then we click on polygon fill, and we get the UV chunk. Click this. Let's get another metal. And we can cheat a little bit. So this is like also affected. We can cheat. We can add let's add a black mask. No, let's delete this. We can paint. Which is, no. Let's add a paint inside the mask. Okay, so this is pretty weird. I need to find a different way to fix that. Let's get this edge damage and let's do triplanar. So the only thing I can do is maybe we just get a paint layer here. Just add a paint layer and press X. And we just get completely rid of this stuff. And also this color variation here. Add a paint layer and also delete this. So we just removed all those things. So this means I removed the color variation. You can just click, like I showed you before, add a paint layer here inside the mask. And then you can press X, so this one is black, and then you can just paint it off. So now this is pretty clean. We need to find a way to make this interesting. So we can add a new layer, put it outside, and then add a black mask. And then get to polygon fill, and we wanna let's do this. Let's give it a red color so we can see. Now only this is affected. Okay, so this is pretty important. Now you can get another grunge texture, maybe maybe this one. We need to add a fill first. Inside the mask, add a fill. And put this one here. And then you can, let's do something like this. Let's play with those values here. So maybe this, and then we rotate like so. And then you can do something like this. Yeah, I think this is fine. And then we can do subtract and play with the color. Usually blue is something which works pretty good. Yeah, something like that. And now I don't want this to be affected. So what you can do is inside here, add a paint, press X, so this is black, and you can just paint this one off. So now you can see only this is affected. And we can just duplicate this and get maybe a different one. Maybe this. Change scale. And then let's try out different things. Maybe something like this. Then let's get another color, maybe. No. Get another grunge map and set this to multiply. And then you can play with the balance. And try this repetition here. And let's do 90 degrees, rotate. And then play with the balance again. And then let's change the color. Alright? So we could fake this a little bit. Now we learned like a couple of different techniques. Yeah. On how to do things. This looks pretty neat, to be honest. This looks really nice. This is okay, but yeah, it's flat, so it's shiny. But it has to be, so. Yeah. But we can add height. Tiny bit. It's fine. So this is okay. This is enough. But this looks pretty good. Yeah, this looks pretty nice. Okay, maybe we can have this a little darker. So maybe instead of subtract, let's get overlay and change this. Now this looks a little better. All right, perfect. So we could improve this a little bit. Okay, let's save. And we are almost done. So we need to take care of our roof. All right, so I just saved. So as I said, we need to take care of our roof tiles. So let's do this. And we can do interesting stuff actually. We don't need metal, to be honest. Let's add a fill layer. Now we can decide only the color. Let's decide. Maybe you get something bluish. Let's do this as a base color. We get a roughness of something like 0.4. Yeah, and then so I'm trying to show you different techniques what you can do. Let's get another layer. So we just call this one base color. So we can always go back and change it. Let's get a new fill layer. And then you can go to Smart Mask. Now, let's try different things. Maybe cavity rust. Put it inside the mask. And now you can see it's not really doing much. Because most of the things are pretty crap, to be honest. Let's get dirt. Because I know our UVs are pretty good. They are clean. So, and the baking was also clean. But most of the stuff is just pretty shit, to be honest. So only a couple of smart masks are good. So let's just try different things until maybe we find something. So now you can see this is like pretty useless, right? Dirt dry. So this is why I don't advise you to use smart masks. Sometimes you find something which is good. So this is maybe alright. But to be honest, let me just get a generator. I'm really getting tired of those smart masks. And we can always start with the dirt or metal edge. So let's start with the dirt and let's invert this. So now you can see this makes more sense. So this is acting like a little bit like ambient occlusion, the dirt. I mean, obviously it is using ambient occlusion. So if you think like, yeah, but this looks pretty boring. I mean, it's filling out those edges, but it looks pretty boring because it's not really natural. You can, of course, get another grunge texture. Let's do something interesting and balanced. So this looks nice. You can get this, for example, and you can see it's already quite big. So let's do 4 repetitions. And then you can set this to multiply. And do something like this. And you get 8 levels on top of that. And make it pop out more. Like so. And you can see the difference. It's acting like a, yeah, it's basically just grunge on top. Then yeah. And then we should invert this dirt. So now this is correct. And then we can change this to actual dirt color. And now we can just increase this stuff here. So now, yeah. And let's get rid of this reflection. We don't need metallic, we don't need normal, and we don't need height. As you can play around with height, but it's not looking natural. Alright, so now you have something like that, and you can always go back here and play with those levels. So I think this looks even better. And yeah, this is good. So I think this looks balanced. And then maybe we can adjust the color a little bit. Just something less saturated, but still, yeah, this is nice. And on top of that, we can add another layer and add a black mask. And we add another generator, and this time let's do position. Let's do roughness, increase. And position, now we can try increase the contrast. So you can see when you increase the contrast. So what position is basically doing, it's giving you this gradient effect. Now you can see it's giving you this gradient effect, and of course you can put a texture on top of that and multiply. And use more balance, less balance in this case, and more contrast. When you do a red color, you can see what's going on. And you can increase the contrast. And if this is not enough, again, on top of this, get a levels and just make it sharper. Now we're talking. So now we found a sweet spot here, and you can, of course, get also a nice color. So maybe a mix of, like, I don't know, something like this. Now you can see this is pretty good. And then we can add another layer, black mask, add a generator, not a paint, add generator. And then let's maybe try you can use curvature, you can use again metal edge. Let's do, where's ambient occlusion? Isn't it called AO? No, ambient occlusion. So now let's try that. So let's get more contrast. Yeah, we need a lot of contrast for ambient occlusion. Yeah, this is pretty neat. So this is pretty nice. And on top of that, you can add a levels just to make it pop out more. And now you can see this is like really noisy. So this means we can blur this just a little bit. And of course you can add let's do something like this. And then you can add, of course, more grunge. Maybe something like this. And set this to multiply. Let's increase the repetition and set this one to multiply. Boom. Let's play with the repetition. Yeah, this is better, and boom, now you can see this is pretty nice. And now you can also, if you want to, add a filter, and get blur. And blur this a little bit. 0.1. All right. So now you have this really soft stuff, basically. Let's invert the grunge, pebbles, dirt. I think this is fine. And then we can change, finally, we can change the color. So let's do we shouldn't go so dark. Maybe something like that. Alright, so now we have some type of roof. Now let's create a folder and we call this one Silent Hill Roof Tiles, and put this inside, close this folder, and then we do smart material, create smart material. Alright, and then let's just copy this and we get the roof V top, press F, and let's try to put this here. And I think we're already good to go. We don't need the blur. And we can something like that. Ambient occlusion. Yeah. Okay, I'm just checking what's up here. Yeah, this is better. Okay, so I'm not gonna waste too much time here. Let's just copy this and we get the main roof tiles. Delete the layer and just put this inside, and then we can check. Okay, looks pretty bad. Let's start one by one. So the base color is fine. Let's get maybe something like red. Let's adjust the dirt so that we do it step by step. All right. Looks more interesting. Just break up the repetition and do something like that. Yeah. Get this, and this is pretty horrible, so position is really sensitive. Okay, this is better. Let's do something like this. And then let's get the levels. Yeah. And we can multiply this. So just to darken like the top, you can see, and we get grunge. What is grunge doing here? Okay, breaking up the repetition. Okay, this is fine. And then we need to take care of this one here. So this is the ambient occlusion. Let's get a blur again. And we change the color. Let's try multiply. Yeah, I mean, it's not doing much, but let's do subtract. Okay, let's stick to normal. Yeah, so you really need to be careful. So because this position, yeah, I think this is fine. So now you have a decent colored roof with some dirt and stuff. Yeah. All right. So what else do we need? I think we are pretty much done. Yeah, concrete. Okay, so we need to do the concrete. And this is it. And stone. Concrete and stone. So how can we do a concrete? Concrete basically is pretty simple. Let's get a fill layer. Higher roughness value, so maybe some 0.8. No metal, no normal, and no height. And we get something like this maybe. So let's just call this one base. We get another layer. And we search for texture inside Substance Painter, which is called concrete. So let's go for dirty concrete. Roughness, we need a higher value. And you can increase the height a little bit. And we experiment with the color. So this is nice. All right, so this is like the base concrete maybe. Let's do 2. Here. Sorry, here. Yeah, this is even better. Don't autosave. So I want to have a yellow tint. Okay, so this is something like plaster, concrete, stuff like that. But we can also just get another concrete Let's try height. A tiny bit. Also repetition, let's do 2. And change the color. Yeah, so play with those height values, and when it comes to concrete, use concrete textures, play with the tiling, do some color variation. Okay. We can also do like some leakage. Let's see this one here. So get another fill, get this leak small, and then let's do red just to see what is going on. Rotate. Play with the position here. And get balance. And we can use subtract and change the color. And then let's try different grunge maps. So yeah, now we have a nice, I mean, not really nice, but you have a decent grunge texture. Let's get a folder, put this inside, and call this Silent Hill Concrete, and convert this, create a smart material. And we can, at the same time, we can copy this and we put this here. And in this case, it's pretty stupid that this is now horizontal, but yeah, we need to we can rotate this. No worries, we can just rotate this. Now for the door, let's see. Yeah, this is the one we need to rotate. Yes. Okay, so this one we can rotate because it's the same material here. So those two meshes have the same material slot. So this is why I cannot really change that. I mean, we can mask this and duplicate and stuff, but why should we do that now? And then just copy this and then get this into the concrete window. Boom. Perfect. Now let's reveal everything and see what is left. I don't think something is left. Look at that. Oh my god. Yeah, the stones, of course. But look at this. Pretty cool. And I think this is all like really in harmony. It all looks balanced. It looks abandoned, it looks old, but it still looks traditional, it still looks beautiful. It looks a little realistic. But the most important thing is that everything looks balanced together. This is the most important thing. Okay. And it is, to be honest. So we can start building and go crazy. And this is like really fun. This is the fun part. And I will give you the freedom. I will just show you like a couple of things, how we can block out with those things. And you can build your own stuff. So yeah, this is what we're going to do in the next lecture. But let's just finish the stone. So let's go here. And we have those stone plates. What we can do, similar approach, we get a fill layer, then we search for something like stone, grunge stone details, for example. Okay, so of course we need to change the color. Give it like a slight bluish tint. Something like this. Get rid of the roughness, so just increase it because it looks horrible. No metallic, no normal. And let's get a base. So just put it underneath and we call this one base. And also we don't need height, we don't need metal, normal, and we can just increase the roughness also. Okay. Base color. Something darker. Oh no, this is the top, right? Ah, yeah, sorry, this is now the top. So, sorry for that. We need to call this one top detail. And this is the base. Yeah. So color variation is pretty important. Get the top detail and let's sorry, this one, grunge stone details, and put this to 2. But we need to be careful that this is not going to look like plaster. Get a roughness of approximately 0.5. In this case, it needs to be reflective. Okay, something like this. Let's see the roughness. This is perfectly fine. Let me check again, sorry. Yeah, so the creases, so what's going down is less reflective. The top is more reflective. But I don't like this color. So now this looks a little bit more like stone. And we can get another layer. Add a black mask. Generator. And let's do dirt. Give it a red color so we can see what's going on. Just to see. And okay, let's get rid of the dirt and let's add another generator, which should be the metal edge. yeah, this is what I want, and we change this to something like this. Get the metal edge, less contrast. Change the grunge scale. Get more grunge in general. Get more edge smoothness. And change the color. So we can do something like this. So I'm not really sure if we just whiten it up or yeah, let's do something like that. Let's do 2. Keep it at 2. No, 2 is fine. Alright, let's keep it like this. And then finally, just on top of that, let's do dirt, but a different approach. So dirt. Grunge pebbles dirt. Let's get this. And we do get something like that. No metal, no normal, and higher roughness value. No height. Play with the repetition here. And make it stronger. And adjust the repetition. Let's try subtract. Change the color. And increase the balance. Right. So now we have something which looks like a stone plate. Sort of. And let's try to change the color here. Alright. And then let's just get a new folder and we call this one Silent Hill Stone. And put it inside. And create smart material. Copy this. And we get the stone blocks. And we put it inside here. And we put it inside the stone blocks too. And let's check how this is going to look. Yeah, the only thing I want to change is this is metal edge where, yeah, let's make this brighter. Yes. And here, let's make this brighter. Perfect. So now you learned how to create stone texture, some kind of like metal texture. and you learned how to create wood here, and you learned how to create roof tiles, textures, and concrete. And everything has some dirt and some edge or like so-called curvature variation. And yeah, we use different baked mesh maps like position, curvature, ambient occlusion, all that fun stuff. Let's save. And then we will just export those textures now, because this is already quite long, this episode. Let me get to this annoying autosave. This is so... I hate this. Okay, so how can we export those textures? It's pretty simple. So how many textures do we have actually? Can we see this right away? 26. We have 26 textures, which is not too bad. It's fine. Then we can go to File. Make sure you save, okay? Export textures here. And then we want to have this as 4K. So yeah, 4K, pretty important. And we use PNG. 8-bit is fine. PBR metallic roughness is fine. And then you are here on global. Get your export folder. So in my case, I will just I have my own textures. Silent Hill House. Let me rename this. Silent Hill Modular Acid Textures. So just get your folder here, okay? And then you click on the first material, and this is pretty important. You don't need emissive, you don't need height, and you don't need metallic. You only need metallic for everything which is metal. This means the roof, I think the roof V-top, the roof. So let me just do this step by step. So I will show you. So you only need color, roughness, normal. This one is a metal, so gutter. This is where we need color, roughness, metallic, normal, but no height and no emissive. For concrete wall, we only need color, roughness, and normal. For the this is the same stuff. No metallic, no height, no emissive. No metallic, no height, no emissive. Doors is wood, so no metallic, no height, no emissive. Main roof bottom is also wood, so color roughness is fine, no metallic, no height, no emissive. Main roof edge, those are these corners, right? These four. Yeah, we need metal for this. Color, roughness, metallic, normal, no height, no emissive. Roof poles, this is wood, so color, roughness, and normal we need. Roof tiles, also color, roughness, and only normal. Metal shutter, so color, roughness, metallic, normal, no height, no emissive. Roof tiles, we don't need metallic, height, and emissive. The roof bottom is wood, so no metallic, no height, no emissive. So height and emissive you can always disable, always. The side roof is wood, so we can use this. The roof V top is metal, color, roughness, metallic, normal, no height, no emissive. This is wood, so we only need those color, roughness, normal. Small gutter, this means we need the metal as well. Stone blocks, we don't need metal. Stone blocks, we don't need metal. Stone plates, we don't need metal. Window frames, it's always the same stuff. We only need color, roughness, and normal. And 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 we only need color, roughness, and normal. Boom. So we can save the settings here, save settings. And then again, go to texture export. 4K, PNG, 8-bit, PBR metallic roughness. Choose your folder. and then you check again, and you can see it's fine. Then just export that stuff, and this is it. Just wait until this is done, and this is it for the whole texturing process. And in the next lecture we will put this all into Unreal Engine and assign those materials, and we will, like, first we import the meshes, assign the materials, and then we can start to actually build stuff.